The birth of a child is such a monumental occasion in any society in the world, and in the traditional African society, it wasn't different. The birth of a child was accompanied with song, dance, and laughter. But why do we place so much emphasis on births? Let's find out. The survival of any species is pegged on its ability to reproduce. And in human beings, we emphasize this by encouraging polygamy. Most societies were very polygamous. In the traditional African society, polygamy was encouraged. Men were encouraged to marry as many wives as they could, as long as they could take care of them. These assured us of constant supply of babies all year round. The birth of a child, therefore, was an assurance, a promise that our species would not go extinct. And in the case of our societies, we were happy to know that we would have representatives for generations to come. So the birth of a child was an assurance, a promise for the future. The birth of a child also proved that the father and mother were fertile, which was a very important component in the survival war. The birth of a child assured us that the pool would be enlarged, the pool from which we got workers. So we would get more hands to work in the farms and even to hunt. The birth of a child also assured us of the expansion of the pool from which we would get soldiers. The more soldiers we had, the greater our chances were of winning wars and raids. And we are happy because we are not fighting against the Spartans. A big population was also an insurance against calamities or natural attrition. Some diseases that are curable now were not curable before. So if a pandemic came and swept 10% of our population, if we were 100,000 people, we would still have 90,000 people surviving. Also, these wars and raids claimed some of our members. So a big population was an insurance against all these things happening around us. So people could give birth to as many children as possible to ensure that a big number of those would survive till old age. So as we've seen, the birth of a child is such a great occasion because it is the one that assures the community that we are going to be represented, we're going to get workers, we're going to get soldiers, and we are going to survive for many generations. In the traditional African society, when a child was born, we sang a birth song. The birth song served many purposes. A birth song is sung to congratulate the parents. We're supposed to congratulate the mother for carrying the baby to term. We also celebrate the father for having potent seeds. A birth song also connects the ancestors to the child by welcoming the child to the community formally. A birth song also shows hope for the child in terms of what they can become in future. The song is also a sign of gratitude to the higher powers, to the gods of fertility. We showed gratitude to the gods for injecting the seeds of the father with potency and for blessing the womb of the mother. A birth song was also sung to congratulate the mother for a safe delivery, which was no mean feat because many mothers died at childbirth. So a birth song played all these roles to welcome the baby to the community and to mark the beginning of somebody's life in the African traditional society. As we said in the previous video, the best way to look at the oral poems and songs is to try and chronicle somebody's life from birth to death. So in the next video, we're going to look at naming songs, which were sung during the naming ceremony, which followed the birth of a child.